Okay, we said we were going to write some more code, so let's get ready to do that. First thing we want to do is Control-C here in the terminal, and that just shuts down our Node.js server because it was actually still running. And let's just close that terminal for the moment so that we can actually see what we're typing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to write some code to add some documents to the database. If we just take a quick second here, I'm going to pull back over the virtual machine that is running our Windows client, or our Notes client. We've got contacts here, but this database also has states, which for the folks in the United States means that the states would be what they would think of, but of course we're Canadian and we think of provinces. So we're going to add some provinces into our list of states, since everything in North America tends to be universal that way. So here's what we're going to do. First thing we got to do is we now need to set up a set of documents that we're going to write. Again, we're hard coding here, but it's for illustrative purposes. So here we go. We need to add const. We're going to say, in this case, create provinces, and that is equal to an array of documents. So the document's really pretty simple, actually. We've got 3 values. So first thing we want to do is create an object, and the first is the form name, which happens to be state. And then we have a key value. This is a field in the document, and I happen to live in the wonderful province of British Columbia. Okay, and since my partners in crime in C3UG live in different provinces, let's have a little bit of fun. We'll create Colin, who lives in Ontario. And Heiko's base of operation is Nova Scotia. Okay, so this is what we're going to use to actually go and create our documents. Now we need to create a new endpoint. So let's go write that code. We need to app.get. So these are GET requests, and usually when you're creating in an API, when you're creating data in a database, you're receiving POST requests. I mean, I suppose you don't have to do it that way, but kind of classically you would. Anyway, for us, we're actually calling it a GET, but in fact, we're writing documents. So we're going to write prov, and again, this is a function, so there's a lot of repeat here now. We pass in a request. Again, this is just good learning, good repetition. Use server. This is in fact the exact same line from above. Server config dot then. It is async server, and in this case the database is the same. Use database, and we pass in our database config. And this one is different. So const response equals await database dot, as you might imagine, bulk write. My bad, not write, create documents. And we pass in our create provinces variable. Okay, and now we want to see what we get back. So we're going to ask for the universal IDs. Response dot documents dot map. And in this case, we're going to use a command doc and then the parameter at unit, which, if you remember from the results of our previous test, that's something that's automatically included in the response from the DQL query. Now, console.log, backtick, documents created, and we'll just pass in the units. just like that. And then we, of course, need to send back the response, which is more or less the same thing. You can obviously be creative here if you want, but just for basic, illustrate what we're trying to do, units. Okay, and then let's also do the catch. And res.send error. Okay. Now, the other thing that we want to do is go back up to our default response here, and then we can say use /API/ and what did I call it? Write prov to create new province documents, even though they're states. We are Canadian after all. Okay, we're going to hit save there, and let's just test it right now. So back to the terminal. Again, that was control backtick, and node -v just to double check that we're still in the right version. Index.js. We're listening on port 3003. Let's go to localhost 3003, and here we go, use /API/write prov. So we go /API/write, write prov. And you can see we are working over here, and eventually it's going to come back, and there we go. So there were 3 documents, British Columbia, Ontario, and Nova Scotia. And if we flip over and pull in our notes client and open up the database and look at the states, if we go down to the bottom, we have 3 new states that were created. Let's just do a quick properties on this. Come on. Created today. All right, there's a successful test. Let's pause here, and we will come back in the next video and continue.